When the facts get twisted and the lies stack tall, my red, white, and blue heart starts at answering the call. Question everything. Don't swallow the lies they try to sell. 'Cause sometimes logic fails and it drags this nation straight to hell. Conspiracy analysts digging for the truth they try to hide. We the people stand together with our hands on hearts and full of pride. This is my home, my blood, my heritage, my sacred ground. My country's not for sale, and we'll never back down.
What is up? What is up, folks? Good morning to you. How is everybody doing? Good to see everybody gathering there in the chat. Looks like everybody's excited and ready to go. Let's see. We do have in the house. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Muppet Masher. He's been in the
Hey,
trenches
yo.
now. How are you doing, buddy?
Pretty damn good. Hey,
Good.
your intro music is really awesome. I love that intro song.
Yeah, me too. And matter of fact, he's in the chat. Question everything. Another shout out to him. That's his. He sent it to me one day to see what I thought about it, and I listened to
Yeah,
it.
good
And I
job.
said, "Man, I love that. Can I use that?" So yeah, there's a little down there at the bottom. There's a little credit to question everything. So yeah, amazing. Everybody brags on that intro.
Hey, I like it. It's good.
But yeah, a Muppet's been in the trenches big time. I know a lot of y'all don't do X, and I understand why you don't. So yeah, he's been doing a lot of research now for the last year. He's contributed to a lot of the bigger channels. I know him and Baron shouted you out just the other day on the security guard thing. And
Yeah.
I know you and Allie have worked a lot together, and I don't know. I know I can't think of everybody off the top of my head, but I know I've heard your name a lot on some of these bigger shows and stuff. So, yeah, he's contributed a lot, and so we're gonna wing it. We're just gonna talk. We're gonna do a little bullshitting back and forth. We're just gonna talk about what he's been doing. Nothing formal, you know.
Sounds
And
good.
yeah, we'll if we need to pull anything up to look at, that is fine too, guys. I don't know what the numbers will be like, but if they're anything like they have been, and you want to ask Muppet something, that's fine. Just a super chat is going to be the best way to catch our attention. If especially we got 100 or 200 people in here, so we'll have to see how
Yeah,
it goes.
I got the comments running there. I can see most of them. So
Cool. And I'll try to bring them up on the screen. I try to catch a lot of them, bring them up on the screen as we go. So, but yeah, I'm gonna run through and just shout out real quick who we have waiting in here. What's up, Debbie? Good morning, Jackie Hughes. Question everything. What's up, buddy? Let's see. We got Kathy in the house. Good to see you. Let's see here. Who else we got? I know I've seen some more. Scroll. I try to scroll fast here at the beginning. That way I can get to the bottom. What's up, Jack? Jay Bogey here again. Good to see you, buddy. D. Henderson. What's up? Reginator. What is up, Reginator? Let's see. We got Dreaming in the house. Good to see you.
I put the word out in Australia too, so there should be some Aussies getting on your stream.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that to our guys, but we've got several Aussies that are here anyway. So yeah, guys, I forgot to mention that to y'all, but yeah, he's joining us from Australia. So some of y'all especially should be really tickled about that. Yeah, we've got let's see, Girlies in the house, but then Keza. What's up, Keza? I'm trying to remember who all are from Australia. It's hard to keep up with sometimes. Golden Cat, what's up? Got guys in the house. Let's see who else we got. Okay, don't want to miss anybody. All right, I think I've got Stacy. What's up? Got Stacy in the house. Hey, just so I don't miss anybody, y'all start throwing Aussie in the chat if y'all are from Australia. I know a few of y'all for sure, but I don't want to miss anybody. So y'all show me some love and say, hey, y'all from Australia if y'all are in the chat. Let's see. Got Courts in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Love from Australia. There we go. Good to see you. Hope you've subscribed, because we'll probably, I'm sure we'll have him back in the future, and we have lots of good guests coming on. We got Heather P, Lisa Marie. Let's see. Aunt B's in the house. Good to see you. Let's see. Got Username in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, I think I made it to the bottom. Sweet. We'll try to catch some as they come in if I can. But anyway, yeah. So what you been working on lately? I know. Were you involved in the? I believe you were. I could be wrong now, but with the whole like identification of the vehicle and all that, weren't you working on that?
Yeah, we worked on that. We worked on everything. What are we now? 336 days down the road.
Don't seem like it, does it?
No, it has gone pretty quick. But yeah, it was at least 336 rabbit holes that we've been down.
Yeah, don't you work with in there a group of y'all that kind of work together? I'm trying
yeah.
I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. Hayden, yes.
Hayden Wood. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's done extraordinary work on the timeline that they presented to us, supposedly Tyler's movements for that day. Right. And he's picked so many holes in it, and there's a lot of flaws that should come out in trial.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So we have Hayden and Amy, Mats and Baker, Kate. There's quite a group of us now
I think
that
Hayden
have been
was
working
on
on
Stu
the.
Peters, wasn't he, recently?
Yes, he was. Yep.
Yeah.
Stu had him on, and we've had some regular X spaces where we've been sort of breaking the timeline. That's a bit of a series that we've been going through. And Hayden's done just hours and hours of really tedious work. And it's very boring work to do, but it's so important.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it is, because look, that's the whole timeline and just these little details. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I mean, like, well, where would we be? I mean, we would just have to take their word for it. And there's been so much that's come out about this. It's just absolutely, it's just mind-boggling. So, what do you think, if you had to pick out just a few of the main things, your best proofs that either it was not Tyler there at all, or where do you stand on that? Do you think he was on campus at all?
No, I don't. I don't believe Tyler Robinson was anywhere near campus that day. He may have some involvement at some point along the line, but the videos that they've showed us of, we call him Blurry Boy and Shorts Boy.
Shorts Boy, yep.
Yeah, they're different people. And then the images that Candace released that are of him in the car park, and now that they've been uncompressed, they look nothing like Tyler Robinson.
No, they don't.
And I've got a big issue with that footage it's altered. They've compressed it down.
It is.
It's not the natural footage. It's not the original footage. So I'm looking at they're tampering with evidence. And I think some of the officers that have pushed that evidence have probably perjured themselves, knowing that it's not.
They're claiming she's
the original
been, tampering with evidence. Like, what the hell?
I know. Everyone's after Candace. Candace is kind of the bus driver. I actually call her the captain of the mystery flight more than the bus driver, because we don't know where we're going from one day to the next.
I really do. Yeah, and look, I really, really do. I respect her a lot. I'm not what do they call them? Candy cultists, or like, it ain't nothing about that. I mean, I've never been a huge Candace fan. I mean, I've always liked her. She's always been really well spoken, and just I generally agree with her on most topics. But it just wasn't anything like the Blake Lively stuff. I mean, I didn't have any interest in that. There's been a lot of things over the years. I did kind of get into the Brigitte series that she did. But in general, I've not been but since September 10th, I feel like she's the only real friend that he had. She may not be right about everything, but does it not seem that way to you?
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Candace has admitted that she's made mistakes along the line. We've all made mistakes along the line. I've made plenty, and I'm happy to correct them when I do. And I've had a few people reach out to me and go, "You've got that completely wrong," and then I go look at it again and I'll correct it, or I'll debate it.
Well, and here's the thing, they could help a lot with this. As far as getting things wrong, if we would get a little bit of cooperation from even just Turning Point, and those people,
absolutely,
that help tremendously. It's bad enough that you're not getting anything out of the government, but then when you have them, stonewalling,
and especially the way that they're claiming that they would just want the truth and they just want the facts out there, but they had 5 cameras pointing at Charlie the moment that it happened, and we've seen none of that footage. They will not release any of it.
Nothing but that little short little bit that she screen recorded, when they were on the call, right?
Yes, and I actually picked up on that's been cropped down on both sides and at the bottom. And what they showed us, it was probably like a third of the actual view that camera had. It's like the mid third. There's a third on either side that's missing. And I actually found a picture of Philip Goldsberry Jr. mounting that camera, and he's got the little screen.
I'm on your page right now. I was going to just share that if you want, then you can tell us what we're looking at. When we started talking about that, I happened to think of it. So let me share my screen real quick. Let's see here. And I want to share the window. That way maybe I can possibly zoom. All right.
While you do that, I'll give a shout out to Charles McClintock Wilson. His photos have been very valuable. Yeah. I'm on his website nearly every second day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, as far as photos go, I mean, like he did. I mean, his are just so good and clear.
He is a pretty good photographer.
Yes, just amazing. All right, so and that is Philip, right?
Yes, that's Goldsberry there.
All right, so tell us what we're seeing here. I know you said that this would show, I'm not sure exactly how you put that, but show how much was cropped out.
Yeah. You can just see the screen that he's got open on camera there. He's got the actual view when you zoom right into it. Mm-hmm. And then you just compare that with what Terrell Farnsworth showed Candace, and it's completely different.
I see. Yeah.
There's a much wider view that we should have seen behind, which would have shown hell of a lot more.
Yeah, because this is the table here, right? So,
this is Charlie's chair.
Yeah, the chair on the platform. That's right. Yeah, I see what I'm seeing now. But yeah, so Yeah, all that was on that clip that she showed from Terrell was just, I don't know, probably, can they see my, yeah, they can see my cursor. What do you think? Somewhere in here, probably where my cursor is, it was cropped down
Yeah,
to?
yeah, it's pretty much the mid third. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't understand why it would
There
drop
it
down
is.
so much.
Yep. That's crazy.
But I just zoomed into that. I was actually looking at the camera itself because we were trying to identify all the equipment that they were using. And I just happened to notice that he had the screen open there.
That's a good catch right there now. That's paying attention. So, yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time looking at video and photos, scrubbing them backwards and forwards. And we still
it's gotta be
see
frustrating when you
everything.
don't get any good video or when your video's real shitty,
It is. I don't have an echo you're into.
No. Somebody saying echo?
No, I can hear myself.
Oh, okay. No, it's not echoing on my end, buddy. Hey,
That's
guys
fine.
in the chat, let us know if if either one of us is echoing on y'all's end. So where were those hats at in relation to? Were they right here beside the chair, or were they up there on that raised part right there?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell in the.
They're actually on the table, up to Charlie's right hand side.
Okay, so up in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to tell from the from there because I guess he's kind of covering up that. Yeah, boy, that's crazy. I mean, just a little snippet.
They're saying a much wider view, and it would have seen what was happening behind the table when Charlie went down.
They've got all of that.
Camera would cover most of it.
Yeah, they've got every bit of that. I would love to know what they sent the, what they gave the prosecution because I've talked about this before, and I'm sure that you've talked about it too. I'm sure, but the fact that they got up on the stand and said that that they received 4 flash drives to me is
He didn't actually hand over any SD cards or flash drives.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he said that he got flash drives, not SD cards. So
not even flash drives. All he did was upload it to a Google link and send the Google link.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking at your chat. I am echoing.
Okay, echo is bad. I don't.
Did I log out and come back in?
Yeah, try that. Go out and come back in. Hey, you'd be surprised. That'll fix a lot.
Yeah. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Okay, Heather. Gotcha. Okay, she said it started when I shared the screen. That's weird. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Yeah, there's another one that said it just started whenever I shared the screen. So I don't know. We'll try it again here in a minute and see.
StreamYard's been glitchy lately.
Yeah, it has. Now they've been doing all these updates and adding features and all that, which is fine. But yeah, every now and then it seems like they screw up more than they fix. But
they did the same with X updates. They did the same with X updates.
Yeah, I know that's got to be aggravating, especially for people like you that I don't want to say live on X, but I mean like that's that's where you do most of your
I have
research.
been.
Yeah. Hey, basically, I guess you have been living on X, huh?
Especially recently. Yeah, I'm on there like 12 hours a day.
Well, I mean, that's the
If
best
not
place to
more.
find anything, information wise. I mean, it's just it's
It,
a
it,
treasure trove for sure, but it can be a cesspool.
it is the Wild West. But it is becoming more of the mainstream media. I mean,
Yeah.
than Fox or CNN.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, I know it's the Wild West, but in a way, that's a good thing because in still echoing. That is so weird. I don't have the share screen now. Let's see. All right, I tell you what. Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna refresh. I'll refresh, and so we'll see if that makes a difference. Okay, let me refresh, and then I'll pop us both back up there. Oh, please. All right. What about that,
Okay,
guys?
how's that sound?
Only it says only Muppet. Y'all let us know how that did. I don't know. That's weird.
I don't hear an echo now.
Oh, good. Maybe that fixed it. Let's see what they say. Better.
Sound better?
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, if it starts getting crazy again, okay, good now. Keza said good now, so good deal. All right.
Fixed.
So let's see. I'm just scrolling through your X page trying to see if anything catches my eye. So I know what I was going to ask you though. So what do you think if you had to pick just a few of the biggest best proofs that he was not there? What would it be? I mean, I know that we've got the car and all kinds of stuff. So you just tell us what you think.
He seems to have multiple cars that they're claiming to be his that are obviously different. There's we know what Tyler's car looks like because we watched it get towed away. Right. So we know it's how many exhaust pipes it has and the front guard and so yeah, we've got a very good idea. But
what's
I think
that
that one of the
Gray
main
something Gray
Gray Hughes.
No, the other one, Gray. Oh Lord, he did a huge breakdown on the car and said that don't believe your lying eyes, that's not what you're seeing. I wish I could remember that dude's name. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Yeah, I think that's one big thing. And then we have Diligent Dennison who went and down to the Panguitch Steakhouse and interviewed them, and they showed him a receipt of the time that he left there. And from Panguitch back to Orem, it's a 3-hour drive, and he's still there at 10 o'clock, or just before 10 p.m. And then he's back at Orem, supposedly having an interaction with Officer Goforth at the end of Campus Drive at 12:36.
Right.
And so that to get there in that time, he would have had to speed the whole way.
Just killed a man, and he's going to be running 100 back from having a steak dinner, right?
Exactly. So the time frame of that is quite important. And then supposedly on the drive back to Orem, if he was supposedly driving back, he's sending messages to Lance, and he's describing the police vehicles that are still in the vicinity, but in the timeline states he's sort of halfway up the highway. So he can't be in two places at once. So, and then we have there's a whole argument about when he was actually read his Miranda rights and when they would have actually confiscated his phone. But that's a little bit confusing you can read your Miranda rights to you several times, and if they take you into a different district, they'll read them to you again. So yeah, that's a little bit of a grey area with that one. But I think the main thing is all the images. They haven't showed us one clear headshot of him on campus that day.
And we know they
which
have
is
the
what
capability.
Absolutely. They claim he went to Chick-fil-A at 10 o'clock in the morning in the Sorensen building. And I've done a virtual walkthrough there, and there's 4K cameras all through the entire building. Chick-fil-A has cameras right there looking at all the customers. So,
and that's the best picture we've seen so far is the one Candace shared from Chick-fil-A.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand why they wouldn't have shown us one clear headshot with a timestamp, and that would have been enough for probable cause. Placed him there at the time, but we just didn't see it. And that makes me just wonder whether they even have it.
Yeah, I don't think they do, to be honest with you.
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so at all. It's Mid-Gray. That's who I was trying to think of.
Mid-Gray. He's one of Gary Melton's guys.
Yep. But yeah, he's claiming that he's claiming that it's artifacts.
Rubbish.
That he shows on this this image how there's a video and he shows how it's artifacts. I'm sorry, but I saw several pictures and videos of that car from the rear end, and that's not artifacts. I mean,
no.
You can't take artifacts does not take an actual legit triangle and separate it down to 4 exact perfect circles.
Yeah.
I mean,
the footage of him on the roof, supposedly, a lot of artifacts in that. That looks like a Bigfoot video from the 1970s.
I've seen better pictures of Loch Ness.
Yeah. If they're claiming black pixels killed Charlie, then yeah, okay. See that in 4K. But
yeah. Well, and we know, do you know off the top of your head what kind of cameras those are they've got at UVU? I know that's been discussed some. I can't remember. I know
they've got
Carol had
a
talked
few
about
different. Yeah, they actually have a couple of different types depending on where they're located. But that one that shows him on the roof, a 360-degree camera in 4K, and the way they presented that video, it's so confusing. The distance in the background, it's all compressed and distorted. There's things in the background that don't line up. It's absolutely atrocious, and I can honestly say I believe that's been deliberately downgraded in the resolution, so we can't make out detail. It seems obvious.
Look, didn't they just upgrade their cameras not long ago, their security systems not long ago? I believe I remember seeing somebody talk about that on X a while back, how they had upgraded
2024, they put in a lot of new cameras.
Yeah.
But from what I could find, there's over 1,000 cameras in that campus. And even where they have him supposedly walking down Steele Street past Phil Lyman's family, there's an ROTC building there, which is one of their army units, and that building has cameras all over it, and we've never seen any footage from there. And he's walked straight past that supposedly a few times. And then up the other end of that campus drive, there's an NSA building as well, which is on that side of the road, and that has cameras all over it.
And cameras.
Absolutely. And he's walked straight past there and haven't seen anything. So I'm hoping if once it gets to trial that a lot of this other footage will be available and we can see some actual evidence of him on campus. So.
I just feel like, and I could be wrong, anything I guess is possible, but I just feel like if they had clearer, they would have shown, especially with the public interest. They know what the public is starting to think. You would think that they would have put, some good footage out there for everybody to see if they had anything better.
I don't understand why. And people say, no, it affects his rights to a fair trial, but it doesn't. It's probable cause hearing, and one clear headshot of him on campus was pretty much all we needed to see, and just didn't happen. So, in any other state, or especially in Australia, that case would never get to trial the way they presented it. It would just be passed on.
I don't think this one would if it was a different situation.
Or if it wasn't in Utah.
That and being Charlie Kirk, and with the political, there's political pressure. I think if it was just, somebody like me, I don't think he probably wouldn't make it to trial, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. We know how politics goes. So, on that, we were talking about, the timeline and him coming through, coming back from Panguitch. So, maybe you can clear this up a little bit. I've heard a couple different things. So, and first off, I want to say that, to me, it makes zero sense, even if he was hungry, that the trans furry lover who is about to take a man's life over the trans issue, it makes no sense to me that he would go eat somewhere that is known for, the CEO and everybody, making public statements about feeling like marriage can only be between a man and a woman and stuff. So that's my first thing right there. Is it seems odd to me that he would go in there and eat there of all places. But
yeah, absolutely.
Does it not? Just little dumb stuff like that. A lot of people.
He was hungry that day. He went to Chick-fil-A. Apparently, went to Dairy Queen. Then he went for a steak dinner.
That bitch was a eater that day.
He's a skinny little guy for eating that much.
Yeah. And especially, considering what he allegedly was about to do or had just done. But no, I was wanting to ask you, so I've heard a couple different things. When he came back, we know that he talked to that officer Goforth. Is it clear to you whether he was approached or did he park and get out of the car? Do we know for sure how that went? Because I've heard a couple different, a couple different things there.
Watching the video interaction, Officer Goforth is parked in the middle of Campus Drive at the end, and he's blocking people from turning into Campus Drive. Mm-hmm. He could have just driven straight and not had any interaction at all, but it looked like he was trying to turn into Campus Drive. So it looks like Officer Goforth has approached the vehicle on the passenger side and had an interaction like through the window. And basically we can just sort of infer that he said there's been an incident, you can't come down this road, and he's driven off straight. But Officer Goforth explains that he found the interaction suspicious enough to take down the license plate of the car.
What did he say? Something about his some kind of intuition, his
his police spidey senses. And he actually said he made a note of the license plate. But then later on, they only ran a partial plate. So that didn't make any sense to me. If you got the full license plate, you'd run the full license plate. Yeah, exactly. And what part did you run? Was it just letters and numbers, or whatever matched up to Tyler's car was enough for you to run? So
again, a ballsy little, some bitch to just have killed somebody, go eat a steak dinner allegedly, or maybe, and then run all the way back. Yeah. Yep. Pull right up down there and talk to the first cop you see.
Yeah, he's brazen, that's for sure. The amount of miles that he's traveled that day, I think he's only filled up his car the following morning, as far as we can work out,
and drove an hour to do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's driven hundreds and hundreds of miles backwards and forwards, and he should be on cameras everywhere. Like if he's travelled that distance, they'd have his phone pinging off every tower that he's driven past. Every flock camera would have picked him up.
Yeah.
And I don't know, do you think they present some of that, but they haven't presented anything?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And again, unless I missed it, did they ever say that they ever pinged him anywhere? You would think, again, at a probable cause hearing, they would say, even if they didn't, show and go into a lot of detail, they would have said, we've got his cell phone pings, and it says that. And I don't remember ever hearing anything about that.
No, there wasn't. No, nothing about any pinging off towers. They supposedly have collected the phone and got the data off the phone, but even that they put that through Celebrite, which is an Israeli company.
Israeli company.
So yeah, it's questionable again.
Oh God, it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, getting back to that Terrell Farnsworth thing.
Yeah.
I found his affidavit that he actually submitted, and we were told in the court that he'd presented flash drives and a Google Drive link. But in the affidavit, there's nothing about a flash drive. He's uploaded 4 videos, but he has 5 cameras, and there's 4 videos that he put on a Google Drive link and just sent them the Google Drive link. And then sign an affidavit. So to do that, he's obviously had plenty of time to edit or alter the footage, and it's not the original. Where's the SD cards? There's no way
that should fly. That should not be able to fly.
No, I don't think so. It's not the original footage. That's the SD card should have been handed over from all 5 cameras, and then you've got a freelance photographer who was contracted that day in Andrew Ferrasi. So all his footage should have been handed over, which he claims it was. But I've never seen any evidence of him actually giving them the footage or his pictures from the day. So.
Yeah, and didn't they say in the hearing that at one point or up to a point that that they to access that footage or see that footage they had to go through Turning Point? Didn't I hear that during the trial? Yeah,
supposedly. Well, from Andrew Ferrasi himself, he told me that he went to a police station and they took a copy of his footage. And I did ask him to show me some evidence of that, and he didn't. So he should have got a report saying exactly the file size, the date, the time, and he would have had to sign it off. And he didn't show us any of that. And he was there really early. He's got so many videos and pictures that we've never seen, and he may even have the interaction with supposedly Tyler talking to TPUSA rep.
The TPUSA rep, yeah.
Yeah, because that was early in the morning, and he was there at that time. So if he's taking video or photos, then it's quite possible that he has that.
Yeah, and you've actually talked to him, but I feel like, do you agree that Blake does definitely know who Tyler supposedly talked to?
100%. He admitted that he did.
Yeah, because he said, I know they didn't do anything wrong, right?
Yeah, he says, I know who they did, and I'm not going to tell you because I'll get harassed, and I know they've done nothing wrong. Yeah. So how does he know that?
Boy, talking about a serious case of amnesia. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole spaces that he popped into, that was pretty wild. I wasn't even planning on going into that space, and someone told me that he was in there, so I just jumped on.
Yeah, never missed that opportunity.
Yeah, and Louisiana was, she was hosting it, and we've been friends for a while, so she gave me a mic straight away.
Right.
And, yeah, I already had a lot of the timeline already figured out, but there was a few gaps in it that we were trying to figure out who was where. Mm-hmm. And soon as I started asking him, he just went all cagey and a sudden case of amnesia. And as soon as he got in the SUV at the airport, he forgot where he was. Yeah, it was completely. He couldn't even remember who was sitting next to him.
Yeah. Couldn't remember what hotel they stayed in.
Yeah, but he can remember Mikey's quivering lip afterwards.
Right.
So it's very, very selective memory. He couldn't even remember where he stayed that night. Which I actually think he slipped up there. He first told us that he stayed in Orem, and he was very confident. And then the next day, it was, no, I was back at Salt Lake City. And
misspoke.
I may or may not have left my motel room that night. It's
couldn't remember.
Really, really sketchy, man. I don't know why he would be so cagey about it unless he's trying to hide something. So.
I mean, look, I may not remember what I had for supper one night, while I was there.
Yeah, sure.
But this is one thing that I was saying on one of my streams I was doing. I was talking about the fact that, I've worked for a couple different companies where I did a lot of road work. And so, it would vary to a degree, but it has been my experience, any company that I have worked for, or even, any of them that I know of, they have hotels that they generally use, whether it's some type of deal for points or pricing or whatever it is. Most companies, it's not just 100% random. There'll be a small, there'll be a few that they use that are favorites that they'll use a lot. So to me, that's just
even if it's a chain of motels that they regularly stay at. According to Blake Neff, he'd never been to Utah before, which I find that hard to believe as well. But I agree. Like you know where you stayed, you know who was sitting next to you when you drove to the event, and for him just not to even offer up that, like, it's just a data point. It doesn't mean anything.
Right, that's what I was going to say. The fact that the fact that he does that to me means, So I guess it's in his mind. It's either, okay, so do I remember where I stayed and I remember this, whether I went out that night and I remember this, and then all of a sudden, but I don't remember who was riding in the vehicle, or do I just say I don't remember anything? And I guess that's probably the choice he made, is just don't remember anything at all. So
yeah. And just made himself look really sketchy while he was doing it. So, And now everyone's questioning, well, was it Blake that met up with Tyler Robinson at TPUSA that morning? So he knows who it was.
That's been my, I've always thought that there was a fair chance of that,
Yeah. And
especially
the timeline would actually fit.
That there was a bald guy driving a Challenger.
Because they landed in Salt Lake City at it was about 9:25 in the morning. So if he jumped in the SUV and drove straight to UVU or to Orem, and had an interaction with Tyler, he would have had time to actually get back and meet Charlie, because they arrived in convoy. When Charlie arrives at UVU, Blake Neff's SUV is directly behind him, following him through the car park.
When you met up with him, right?
Exactly. Yep. Couldn't remember where we started tailing him, or if we met him halfway, or he couldn't remember anything. So,
you think he would remember if they met him at the airport, or just some random truck stop or something?
Yeah, and what I was actually trying to lead him into there is the brown paper bags that were seen in the SUV pictures that were put out that had Nate Walker's name on them. Yeah, I was trying to find out where they came from, because that's going to give us an indication of where he went. And if Nate Walker was with him or was in Charlie's vehicle, we're not exactly certain. And we're also not certain of who was driving Charlie's vehicle when they arrived at UVU. It's one of the security guards. We're pretty sure his first name's Chris, but we haven't been able to track him down. And that particular security guard is quite important because when the big bang goes off, he's right out the back near the lake somewhere. He's nowhere near Charlie. We actually see him. He comes running back from the lake area when George Zinn is being arrested, and George Zinn is getting dragged out. Then he comes, then he comes running back into the scene. And I've actually traced a little bit of a movement and timed it, and he could have been the person who dumped the backpack at the library that they found.
Well, okay, so yeah, I wanted to ask you about that too, if you had any thoughts on that. While here, I've got one of these supers pulled up. Becky, Beck B. Casey, she's wanting to know. Let's see, hey, can you ask him about the gun holster, please? Cause it said it was found empty, but the trooper Noah Gonzalez report says it had a gun in it. The guy on the stand says empty, but trooper said full. You got anything to share on that? You know much about what actually was the deal with that?
Yeah, I do. That's the Noah Gonzalez is that the weird guy who hides his badge on Adam Bartholomew's video. Yep. So he's actually the guy who spotted the holster with a gun in it on the terraces, and he's the one who he points it out. And then Chris Bagley is the guy who comes up and he's a lion, piece of shit, awful. That guy. And yeah, he's the one who supposedly comes over and looks at the holster, but then from that moment he thinks, oh no, the shot came from that roof up there.
That's when he realizes that it was a rifle.
You find a gun in a holster, and then all of a sudden you're looking at rooftops. So no, it is very sketchy, and I think it's misleading the way it was presented in court, saying that it was empty, but he actually claims that there was a gun in it. So,
well, that's what I was going to ask you: is are there any pictures or any footage that shows this holster that you've been able to find, or?
You can barely see it on the ground. There is something on the ground right in front of him, and it's Jeff Long, and it's actually one of those plainclothes policemen from Utah State with the red hat. He's the one who actually he calls over Chris Bagley.
Yeah, he points, has Chris go get it, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're up on the roof together, supposedly finding screwdrivers. So
yeah. Didn't know who the guy was, what department he worked for. All he knows is he had a gun and a badge, and he was going to take him to possibly, save his life if need be.
Yeah, he's the backup. Some guy with a gun and a badge.
In an open carry on an open carry campus where it just blows my mind. If he's telling the truth there, I mean, he's the worst cop ever.
And we were able to identify him. There was an X account called JJ who actually identified those two Utah State plainclothes officers. So we could identify them. So why couldn't they? Why wouldn't he know who he is by now?
Even if he was dumb enough to take some stranger for backup, by now you're telling me that he doesn't.
You still don't know who he was,
right?
It doesn't have make that make sense. So.
Yeah. The only conclusions I can come up with are not. They're nefarious.
Nefarious. Yeah.
Jay Bogey, thank you very much for the super chat, and thank you, Beck B. I don't know if I said thank you or not, but Jay Bogey, he's $50. Man, you are you're awesome. I really appreciate the generosity there. I have been asking about the weight of the bullet material found in Charlie Kirk. If no exit wound, it should be a lot of testable material. And I agree with you there. I've said from the get-go, without an exit, and if it's a 150 grain, I mean, there should be at least somewhere in the ballpark of 150 grains worth of bullet in there. Now, anyway, if true, did the ATF do a SEM-EDS analysis on the barrel and the jacket material? It should be able to be a conclusive match. So honestly, I'm
So
not 100%. Do
it
you know
wasn't.
about this?
Yeah, they matched it to a 30 cal, but they couldn't get it up to a 30-06 size. And they have a bullet jacket or partial bullet jacket that they were analysing, but as you say, there's no exit wound, so they should be able to recover all the bullet jacket
Right.
and all the lead fragments from the core. And
Do
there
you have
seems to
any
be some.
pictures of that on your X page or in the?
No, I probably posted it. It'd be a long time ago.
Okay.
The bullet fragment evidence that they presented in the court from
I was going to
the
pull up a
ATF.
picture. Let's see.
It's,
I know
and then
I've probably saved it, but I can't think of where. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you're right. Yeah, so with they couldn't get it up to actually a 30-06 size, and then there seems to be fragments missing. But yeah, and then you go to the DNA that was found on the rifle, and Tyler's DNA is the most degraded on the trigger and the trigger guard. So that implies there's fresher DNA on those particular parts, so which to me says someone's touched that trigger or pulled the trigger after Tyler did. So.
Right. All right. So let's see. Hey, y'all let me know if he starts echoing again. I know last time you said it started when I shared the screen. I'm fixing to share the screen again. Let's see. I'm going to do, there's no sound on this
And then,
one, so.
yeah, to add to that too, they also found dust in the barrel of the rifle.
Right.
So
that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Let me take
certainly
this
does
down.
not.
All right, there we go. So this is a picture of what they claim was found.
Yeah.
And so I know they call
they
this
got
a
a
bullet
measurement.
jacket fragment.
Yep.
To me, this looks like, if not the whole jacket, it's damn near it. I mean, you have the whole base right here, you know? That's
which is how they got their 30 cal measurement from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, you know, if you look at all of the other material that's there, to me, that looks like, and trust me, I mean, I'm not gonna Gary Melton and say I am a professional, but you know, I've hunted for years. I reload, you know.
Well, it should be the full jacket, even if it's in fragments. They should be able to recover with the full jacket.
Yes,
they
it should
put him
all
under
be
an X-ray, and it shows up really, really bright on X-rays. So
yes, and so this is one thing also I will say about bullets. So this jacket, again, it should be fairly easy to. They should be able to find all of that. Now, the lead a lot of times is a little different depending on how it, depending on how and when it starts to deform. The lead almost can kind of disintegrate to a degree.
Yeah, it nearly turns into a powder. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But now the jacket, that's what the jacket's for. The jacket is to hold all that lead, you know, together, and the weight of the bullet comes from the lead, not from the jacket. But that is a tiny amount of lead there, and appears to be the whole jacket to me. So I don't, and I know there's a lot of back and forth on the diameter of it. I don't know. I hate to swear to it, but I do know that the inside bore of a rifle is going to be smaller than the diameter of the bullet. And that is how you get those ungodly pressures to get that thing out the barrel, you know, with as much speed as it has. So, you know, it does seem a little small, but at the end of the day, you got a 308, and what'd they say, up to 301, or what was that maximum? So you're only talking about a few thousandths. So
you are,
yeah. I don't know. That doesn't, to me, indicate for sure that it's not a 30-06 bullet. The thing that gets me is they're calling it a 30 caliber class. So it doesn't matter 30-06, 300 blackout, 30-30, you know, 300 Win Mag, the list goes on and on and on. they're all, 0.308 diameter.
Exactly, yeah. But I guess from their point of view, they have to match it to the rifle that they supposedly
Right.
found. So,
Exactly.
um,
And that's, I guess, where the issue is, as they say, they can't get um, they can't line up the marks on it. So,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
And
but that
then,
to me appears to be something that was shot into a solid, hard bone. That to me does not look like something that went into a soft neck and then
no,
finally came to rest there at his spine.
yeah. And if it's only hit a vertebrae, um, yeah, I think we all can all agree that a 30-06 in a human neck from that trajectory, from that range, is going to go through and through every time.
Yeah.
There's nothing in a human neck that could actually stop that from that range. If it was
And
800 meters out, yeah, okay, I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, no worries. It's
Yeah.
it's going to stop. Or a smaller
at
caliber.
140
Yep, okay.
yards. At 140
It
yards.
has no. It's still full velocity, nearly at
Yeah.
that speed. It hasn't even started to slow down. So,
And I mean, there's always, I guess, bullets do strange things. I understand, but what gets me
yeah,
is if it did
they don't
stop,
forget their bullets.
right? But if it did stop, to me, it seems like there should be more material.
Yeah, yeah.
There should be more bullet there.
Yeah, and to me, the shirt movement, it doesn't fit a temporary cavitation event.
No.
Not from in the neck. If it was in the chest, yeah, okay, I can see a bit of that as a temporary cavitation event. But getting hit in the neck and then having your shirt jump up like that makes no sense to me at all.
No, and another thing that I have said several times is this. Okay, that bullet is traveling, just somewhere shy of 3,000 feet per second. That's a lot, and you're looking at just shy of 3,000 foot-pounds of energy at that distance.
Yep.
Okay, so basically 3,000 pounds. We're talking about a very small car, give or take, And so if you can imagine a very small car, squished down to something much smaller, what's going to happen if that 3,000 pounds lands in your lap or whatever? If it had been a full metal jacket and it had whizzed through front, back, whatever, I could see him sitting there and it going through both sides and there not being a wild reaction. But the fact that they're telling us that this went in and stopped means it dumped the whole 3,000 pounds into his neck. So let's suppose they're telling the truth and that's what happened. It should have literally flipped him backwards out of the chair.
At least pushed him back into the backrest.
Yes.
And not have his head dip forward.
I shot deer. I shot one, I was telling on one of my last streams. She was facing me and I shot just right in the middle of her chest. And this was a 30 caliber, but it's a 300 blackout. So not nearly as hot as 30-06, but 30 caliber. And when that thing hit her, she did an actual complete backflip. Completely over, still facing the same direction, just laid on the ground. So
I've done similar. I've got a 308 and I've shot a fox. It was side on and it did like two flips in the air before it actually hit the ground. It catapulted it. So I've got a fair idea. I've never fired a 30-06. I've only fired a 308, but
it's like a 308, just a little more.
Yeah, they're punchy guns. They have a thump to them, and I've hit pigs. I've hit an 80-kilo pig with a 308, and it goes straight through, and takes a big chunk of meat out the back with it. So,
and if it doesn't, if it happens to stop, I mean, that's where you get your radical, like crazy, visual impacts.
Yep. And you've hit a major bone for it. Just
But they don't just stand there and take it. You know what I mean? Like if it stops in them, it'd knock them. I've seen it knock them down, several feet, and we're talking about 80 kilos. What is that? Let's see, over 100 pounds, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
Kilo. Actually, it's about 150 pounds.
2.2.
Yeah.
Decent sized pigs, man.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few. I live in the middle of fucking nowhere in Australia. And we have quite a few feral pigs and foxes, and we have feral dogs out here that need to be taken care of. So
I'm one of these days. I'd like to make it over there. One of these days.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Come and stay. I got plenty of room.
Sweet. Well, if I can ever manage, I'll definitely be giving you a shout. Let's see. We got another one here. $5. Thank you very, very much, Courts. This both 301s. Okay. I thank you. Thanks, Legends. Australia, US. So glad you're able to get out there and share yours and the team's research efforts, Muppet. Absolutely, and I appreciate you coming on and doing it.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes
we could talk about this for hours.
Oh yeah. Yes, I agree. I could too, but it's like I told all of them. It's get it straight from the horse's mouth. Because you get bits and pieces from these other creators that are picking up on it. But let's just get him on, talk to him a little bit. Probably hear something we hadn't heard yet. So. We got Jay Bogey again. Thank you very much, Jay. Really appreciate that. Okay, so I'm asking about the I know the word, I just can't say it. Metallurgical matching in the barrel to the bullet jacket. The smear from the round going down the bore should have fresh copper fouling. Yes. So, Is that not the test that the FBI was supposed to run that they stopped doing? I don't remember for sure if that's the test.
If I remember correctly, that one was inconclusive, and then I believe that's when they discovered that the barrel had dust in it,
right.
which obviously shouldn't be there if you've just fired a rifle.
I wouldn't think so.
And it's not dust from the local environment, so. I think that dust is in the barrel is going to come up, and it's going to be a contentious point. So,
the thing about it is she didn't say so he asked her about dust and debris, and she even specified no debris, dust. So what you hear certain people saying is, well, yeah, but he stuck it in the bush, whatever, could have got stuff in the barrel. Well, I feel like if it got in there in that way, that she probably would have called it more debris, and probably.
And he supposedly had it wrapped in a towel.
Exactly. But seems to me anyway that she might have also specified that it was some type of organic material like dirt, but that's not what she said. She was like, just dust. I don't know what kind of dust. It's just dust. So,
I think that will come up again, and the DNA is going to be a very contentious point. Where they actually located the screwdriver, because the original reports say that the screwdriver was found with the rifle, and then all of a sudden it's up on a roof. So, and I looked at that. They stated that in the report they released today that the screwdriver was found 10 to 15 feet away from the rail that he originally jumped over. So
yes, that thing has moved a lot, hasn't it?
It has. Someone could have just tossed that on the roof like it's. And then Kelly Raybon.
Yep, Kelly Raybon. That's exactly what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, went and found it. That's the screwdrivers that they're in the little golf buggies that they drive around.
Have we seen a picture of the screwdriver?
Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, we have. Yes.
Okay. I'd be interested to go
deeper.
back and look at that and compare it to the one that she saw in the golf cart. That's interesting. Very interesting.
It is very interesting, and obviously it makes sense that they would buy them in bulk.
Oh yeah,
and so, but yeah, the screwdriver does seem to have moved locations from where they originally found it, and now it's on the roof.
oh, they stated plainly that it was found by the gun.
Yep, that was the very first reports. So there's a lot of conflicting information.
Oh God, everything. So here, yeah, this I was correct on the type of test that is. It says where am I at? I lost my place. Metallurgical matching of bullets, historically known as bullet lead comparative analysis. That's the way I'm more familiar with, is just calling it the lead comparative analysis. But it is a forensic technique that measures trace element composition like I can't talk this morning, copper and arsenic, to link crime scene bullets to suspects' box of ammunition. However, the FBI permanently abandoned the practice in 2005 following severe scientific criticism regarding its accuracy. So, I don't know, but I think they abandoned that, or do you know? Did you hear any different? I never heard anything else about it because there was a lot of backlash about retesting,
Yeah, I don't think I think they just put it as inconclusive in the end, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It seems to be the way they get out of things if they can't describe it as just inconclusive.
Inconclusive. The thing about it is, though, is if it was stopped, or if they stopped doing that particular method, using that particular method, because it wasn't always accurate, even if it had come back as a match, I would have questions.
Yeah, most definitely.
So
yeah, for sure.
I don't think. I don't know. I think you're right. I think it was just inconclusive across the board. They caught a lot of shit. They caught a lot of shit over that one. I do remember everybody was talking about that for a while.
It has been a very contentious point. Yeah. I'm not. I've got so many questions and skepticism about the way they test things, chain of custody on their evidence. There's a whole range of things that is going to come up in trial.
What's that? Chain of custody?
Yeah, they seem to have forgotten how to do that.
Right. Here's another one. And I'm so sorry. I've got to run a poll. I keep forgetting. I've got to run a poll at the beginning of one of these streams. But anyway, so 6 current CK theories active: John Bray, John Cullen, and NDTP USA hoax, EMP-DEW overhead, 223 shot. Any others? Muppets theory currently. Have you landed on anything where you think is probably the most plausible, or you leaning towards John Bray, or?
I'm actually leaning towards drone theory.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm very confident there are drones flying around. They're not insects and they're not birds. So
I am convinced there were drones there.
Yeah. And then with that's just a matter of what the drones were actually there for. Whether
that's what I was going to ask you, is if you think that they were, shooting some kind of projectile, or just a part of, a John Bray theory or something like that,
Yeah, I've been in contact with John Cullen, and there's another account called We're Not Going to Mars, who's done a lot of work on the drone theory. Mm-hmm. And I've actually got them both to agree to get into an X space and have a dedicated X space on drone theory. So John Cullen should be, we're hoping it will be. It should be a very interesting space. We may end up actually doing it on YouTube. Yeah. But they've both agreed to do it. It's just a matter of trying to coordinate them all and organise the best place to actually host it.
Well, and I've watched, I've watched John, and I know he's talked a lot about the drones, but I don't know that I've ever heard him, um, you know, wrap it up and put a bow on it. I know that he's convinced, which I'm fairly convinced myself, that there were drones there that day. And I know he's convinced that they were involved, but I don't think I've ever heard him say exactly what he felt was the actual mechanism, that they used. I I could see the
I'm in the
drones
same
being
boat with that. With the drones,
yeah,
it still makes it. Yeah, it just makes it hard to explain the shirt movement.
right.
If it's basically, I'm looking at what we saw in the neck is an exit wound, so that puts an entrance point behind his right ear in his hairline, and it's
Hmm.
travelled down, and it kind of explain the damage to the vertebrae because they've got the left hand side of his vertebrae is where all the damage is.
Yes.
So if it's come down basically through the base of his skull, hits C2, and then fragmented downwards because it's still a downwards trajectory,
Hmm.
and smash right down through to C7, it kind of makes sense. The problem we have is we don't have an obvious entrance wound on that side
Right.
of his head.
Right.
Um,
And what did they say? What was the term? The C2 through, was it C2 through C7?
yeah, and they're right down to T1. So they
Traumatically absent, I believe was the term, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, I think the vertebrae, I think they might have used obliterated, and then
Yeah. That was
um,
another word that was used.
yeah, and then part of his spinal cord was missing. I think that was the I
Yeah.
can't remember. I have to
Yeah.
look it up again.
The
But
thing
yeah,
about
they
it
say
is,
it's
though, to me, is and
completely
then
gone.
all of the head trauma too, like all the way up to the top of his brain, like right under his skull.
Yes.
So to me, the only thing, and look, I'm not a medical professional. I mean, like I just don't know, but I mean, to me, it would seem more likely the shockwave best explains that to me, having that much
It
damage
does,
from
and if it's a downwards trajectory, you can get some damage down into the heart, the lungs, with hemorrhaging in the heart and the lungs.
yeah,
So it kind of does make sense, but the shirt jumping upwards
yes,
is the bit that I struggle to get into the drone theory. Unless he's, I'll throw it out there. There's another theory that I have. There's a wedge speaker underneath the table in between Charlie's legs, and
yeah,
if there was a projectile fired up from that, it would actually explain a hell of a lot.
right.
But it's a pretty out there conspiracy theory, and I
Yeah,
have
because
no
especially with
supporting
an
evidence
exit
for it.
coming out forward out of the front of his neck,
Yeah, if you imagine a projectile basically coming up between his legs,
Yeah,
maybe even hitting the necklace, and then
yeah,
causing the necklace to do what it did, cause the shirt to jump upwards, and then it ends up lodging in his neck. It is it's a pretty. I know it sounds crazy, but
Well, I
it
mean, at
would.
this point,
Yeah.
yeah,
There is an eyewitness. His name's Darren Brunson, who's actually a friend of Phil Lyman's. He did a very strange podcast interview on the day with his brother, explaining what he thinks he saw.
yeah, I'm
And
kind of familiar with the Brunson brothers.
yeah, Darren's one of them. He was there. He actually thinks a shot came out of the back of the speaker.
Right.
One of the taller speakers. He thinks it came out of that, and they'd rigged the speaker to basically shoot a projectile. So yeah,
I
his
forgot
series
about
is
that. I've never played that on my. I need to play that on one of my live streams. I'd forgotten all about that interview he did, that podcast he did.
yeah, and he was one of the eyewitnesses straight after he said he got shot in the chest.
Yes.
There was a whole bunch of eyewitnesses. Him and Angie Martin. and Sarah Chewell, who was a student at the school. They all claimed that he was shot in the chest, and they plain as day he was shot in the chest, 100%. Angie Martin's actually an ex-police officer.
Really?
Yeah, she's highly experienced. She was been in the force for over 20 years. She's done active shooter drills at schools. She's in the canines. She's very experienced police officer, and she claimed straight up that he was shot in the chest because I don't think she had the updated script yet. So,
Right.
and Darren Brunson was standing right next to her when they were doing these eyewitness interviews in the car park. But then later that day, he's on a podcast on his brother's YouTube channel, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one-off. They just did this one-off weird sit-down thing where he was discussing what he experienced. And he describes where he was in the crowd. Admittedly, I've never been able to find Darren Brunson in the crowd.
I was about to ask you that.
I've never been able to locate him. Honestly, I don't believe he's there. I think he was just there to deliver the script to the media at the end. Right. Because where he explains where he was in the crowd.
He described where he was, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched hours and hours of video trying to locate him there, and I can't find him. I know what he's wearing that day, and he doesn't exist. So
that's strange.
Yeah. I might have missed him. He might be there somewhere, just ducked behind someone, and I can't see him. But I had never been able to locate him in the crowd.
That's weird. Yeah, and the fact that there appeared to be a written script about a chest wound also kind of, makes me lean, towards John Bray. But again, I mean, anything's possible, and I'm open to anything. I'm not married to anything, but
no, neither am I.
But
my original thought was I thought he had an IEM, an earpiece in his right ear that had exploded and blown chunks out his neck. Yep. I spent the first 3 days trying to find evidence that he had an earpiece in, and then once I found that he didn't, I'm like, okay, well, it's not that. So I dropped that theory. Yeah, dropped that theory pretty quick. But I've never really been into trying to figure out how they killed him. I've been trying to figure out who. And trying to work out the network of people and the people that were in close proximity, and some that are acting very strange behavior. So I've been more focused on the people that are around him, and personally, I believe it was an Israeli decision to take him out.
I've been that way since day one. I mean, I just yeah.
As soon as Netanyahu came out and did a mass media conference, well, we didn't do it. I was like, well, no one said you did.
No, yeah.
It was
we just
it was
go
too
ahead and
early.
Get on the record.
Exactly. They were just trying to get out in front of the curve and do damage control. And it was ridiculous.
I just can't believe. I don't know who told him that was a good idea, but
neither do I.
I guess whoever's doing the PR at Turning Point, whether it's Andrew or whoever it is.
the Hasbara propaganda unit.
Right. Russian said, traumatically absent. That's what it was.
That's the term. Yep.
And so that's another thing to me. I've thought about this a bunch, and there's lots of different theories about what possibly could have happened on the ride, whether he was still alive when he gets shoved in the vehicle, or whether he's dead or alive if they did something along the way to make sure that, but that part right there is what also gets me. We were talking about how if a 30-06 went in and dumped all that all that force into his neck. I mean, you would think at a bare minimum, we're talking shoving his head back, but I mean, I think flipping him out of his chair probably. But that being said, just going by their report, with what, 5, 6 vertebra being traumatically absent, how did his head stay up anyway, regardless of what caused the injury?
Yeah, no, I
So
agree.
it makes me wonder if some of that damage didn't happen after the fact, which they grabbed him up and toted him like a piece of
Yeah,
meat. Now his head
I
flopping
know.
and, absolutely just ridiculous.
I got big issues with the way that he was handled and the way they carried him out.
Yeah,
They ignored the EMTs who were right there.
right there.
Everybody rushed straight past the EMTs. EMTs followed him to the SUV, and they still ignored him. Wouldn't let him get access to the patient.
Then
So,
tried to hand their bags off at least.
yep, yep.
But, and I don't know if you're
And then
familiar with American
Frank
Discourse News.
Turek.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and then Frank Turek gets in the back rather than an EMT.
Right. Yeah, they could have
yeah,
at least let an EMT in.
yeah,
I don't know if you're familiar with ADN, American Discourse News, but she was talking
yes,
about a lot of the legal. I figured you probably were. Me and her did a live stream a while back, but she was going in a lot of the legalities and everything. And one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting and that I could have guessed is that once a traumatic event like this happens, um, they've done their job very poorly, but
yeah,
then it's time to turn him over to medical professionals. They don't, unless there's some kind of, and I doubt it, unless there's some kind of clause in their contract that they signed that says they've got medical whatever, that they can't refuse treatment for him. And to me,
no,
I mean, it's negligent, to
it is, yeah,
criminally negligent to run right
but
past him.
possibly,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know if that'll ever come out or if everything, because I think it would probably be Erica that would have to
Yeah.
try
Well,
and
you would
try and
think they
sue
could get
them
it from
civilly.
everywhere. You would think that Turning Point. You would think Turning Point as an organization could sue.
Yep,
You would think
yep.
Erica should be able to sue. You would think his parents would be able to sue.
And I kind of expect a class action from the people in the audience because
Yeah,
of the lack of
that's
security.
also yeah.
Yeah.
That's also an option.
So yeah, I don't know. That probably will be things that come up again in the future, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure
Yeah,
exactly how they.
my buddy Greg I stream with, he's an attorney, and Greg Lake,
Yep,
he
I like Greg.
yeah, good dude. He's we were talking about that, he said that they should be able to. I mean, the people in the crowd. I mean, no, it wasn't them, but it could have been.
Yeah, well, I believe they would have a case against UVU for overcrowding, just lack of duty of care, no fire exits, no fire marshals. There's a whole range of things that seem to be lapsing on the day. All the stairwells were loaded up with people.
Yeah.
It's an extremely overcrowded event. And I've actually tracked, there's a UVU event coordinator who's sitting in the crowd up near the volunteers tent. She's sitting on the wall and she's watching the crowd build up to the point of where it's overcrowded, and they still did nothing. That's still
what I
made
was
no.
going to say. Let's just assume they misfigured. Once it got to a point, is it not somebody's responsibility to, especially, I mean, I think it's over 1,000, something to that effect. Over 1,000, I believe it is. It's legally required to have an ambulance sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact number, but you would think that event coordinator or somebody seeing this crowd building. I mean, just because the paperwork said whatever it was, whatever that final number was, I mean, that doesn't change
Yeah.
the fact that there's more people showing up, and you would think that
Originally, they were expecting around 600, and then that doubled to 1,200. And so even at 1,200, that's classified as a large event. We've gone through the UVU policy. Actually, I think it was 300 people is classified as a large event for them.
And ADN said that Turning Point, actually, there was a question: are you requesting, or do we need an ambulance? And Turning Point specifically said no.
Yeah,
I remember that, if I remember correctly.
I think that was in part of the original documents. Yeah, when they were putting in the request to have it there.
That's crazy.
So, actually, just getting to that, that's one thing I have been really working on, trying to figure out how it all played out. And from what I can figure out, do you know Deseret News in Utah?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. There's a reporter that works for them called Brigham Tomko. He's friendly with Tyler Boyer. And back in June, as far as I work out, he contacted Tyler and organised an interview with Charlie at TPUSA headquarters. So Brigham Tomko and his photographer travelled down from Utah to Arizona, interviewed Charlie in headquarters and a few of the other staff, took a heap of photos, and then he sat on that interview until 3 days before Charlie showed up on the 7th of September. He actually published an article called, I think it was titled Charlie Kirk, Too Big to Ignore. And it was all about the interview that he had. So as far as I know, back then, that was around the same time, Caleb Chilcutt, who's the chapter president for UVU, he put in the request and invited Charlie to come to UVU right at the same time. So as far as I'm aware, Deseret News would have known back in June that Charlie was coming to UVU.
Right.
So they would have been one of the very first ones to know that he's coming. And the Caleb Chilcutt and this Brigham Tomko reporter are very friendly. They know each other quite well. Caleb's actually written articles for Deseret News as well.
Right.
And there's a bit of a network there. And this is where I bring in the Mormons, because Tyler Boyer's a Mormon, Brigham's a Mormon, obviously, with the name Brigham, and Caleb Chilcutt. So there's a Mormon connection there very, very early that knew Charlie was coming to UVU. And Caleb Chilcutt's actually a very big part of it, because he was part of the planning team that decided to have it in that courtyard. He was involved with the tent placement, where they actually put the tent. And he was also involved with all the volunteers. So your Cooper Browns, your Jeb Jacobys, all the weird characters were all organised through Caleb Chilcutt. So it's actually a name
you don't hear very often.
No, I was posting about him early on, and I actually reached out to him, and we had some discussions, and then I didn't believe what he was telling me. So we had a bit of a falling out, and then he ended up blocking me. But yeah, I've actually managed to speak to quite a few of the people that were there. Skylar Baird, the witness, who up at the memorial, I've spoken to him. Just today, there's another eyewitness called Blake Haskett who did a selfie video. He did a quite a strange selfie video during the incident. Yeah, at UVU. Yeah. And I've been shit posting about him, and he actually reached out to me today and was like, "What are you doing? Like, you could have just talked to me before you started posting shit." So I've been in communication with him, and I actually think I can get him and Skylar Baird into an interview together as an eyewitness interview
Oh
a
yeah.
year down the track.
Jeez,
So
yeah.
they're both pretty keen for another interview.
I got
And
if you need
clear the
somewhere
air.
to host that, let me know.
It is. It's only just come up today. Just asked him if he would consider doing an interview, and he's like, "Yeah, for sure."
Oh yeah.
And Skylar Baird's agreed as well. Skylar Baird has an interesting story. He had an interaction with George Zinn before George Zinn started waving his hat and saying it was me, shoot me.
Right.
He had an interaction with Skylar and said that Charlie was faking it. That was George Zinn's first impression, was Charlie was faking it. And Skylar Baird replied to him that I just watched his neck explode and blood gush out.
Yeah.
And then that was the moment where George apparently paused for a second and then started waving his hat saying, I did it, shoot me, shoot me.
Oh my God.
So George's original impression was it was fake. So yeah, it's a very interesting story. I don't think many people know that there was an interaction with Skylar Baird.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you anyway. Skylar probably won't want me talking about it, but apparently the following day, I think it was, Skylar Baird had a phone call from a media group in Israel who wanted to do an interview with him. I haven't got my notes in front of me. It turns out it's actually the IDF media outlet, directly from the IDF. So Skylar told me that they had a video interview, but he explains that there was a panel of people on their end, and there was two of them that were blacked out. They blurred out their faces and basically asked him some kind of lead-in interview questions, and then the questions went really weird about what he experienced on the day. Then the interview never went out anywhere. And then Skylar realized that he just had been interrogated by Mossad.
Wow. Wow.
And had a bit of a freak out moment, and he actually left the country. He actually came to Australia for his sister's wedding not long afterwards, and he left early to come to Australia.
Wow. That's crazy.
So
if they're ready to do an interview, by God, if you need somewhere to do it, you give me a holler and we'll all jump on and we'll do it. That's crazy.
Yeah, I could quite possibly line it up through you, because I am looking for I can do it on X, but that's the only sort of platform I've got available to me. I do have a YouTube channel, but I've never really done anything with it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have an audience at all.
Well, and this isn't huge. I mean, I'm pretty new, but we've things are starting to go. Once I got past 1,000, things started going a lot, better. I've been getting a whole lot more views, and like last week.
I trust you that you're looking for the truth as well. So
yeah,
I think that you'd be able to host an interview with these two quite successfully.
Yeah, that's all it's about for me. I mean, and anybody can say that, but when you get these, look, there's some bigger channels obviously that I'm, your Candaces and your Barons. I mean, great, but but you've also got your Gary Meltons and all of them that claim to be just looking for the truth. And you got to kind of look sideways at them sometimes. Like, are you sure?
I judge them on their actions, not their words.
Exactly. But we could get. I'm sure we could get quite a few eyeballs, especially if we, post about it ahead of time. A week or so ahead of time, and so. But just
absolutely.
let me know. I'd definitely be up for that, and I know everybody. I know everybody would be.
Yeah, I think
Everyone
it would
loves to
be an
see that.
interesting interview, and I'm also trying to get Cub Keller to jump in on that eyewitness group interview as well.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I probably could have got Phil Lyman as well, but I burnt that bridge pretty bad. So I'm not
Well,
sure if I could get that one.
yeah, that's well, you'll have that, I guess, on these bigger jobs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, yeah, I
yeah,
had a
that's
very
the nature of the
strange
beast.
interactions with Phil Lyman.
Yeah, Phil Lyman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kathy
that's
Winkle's
yeah.
already saying, when you doing this, Adam? Kathy, we'll have to see. This is like before even the infant stages. So, we'll definitely keep you posted on that. So, and then something else while I'm looking at the chat, I seen this earlier. Jax, he's a long time follower, and he's always in there live. And I need to talk to him one of these days. I need to give him a call and talk to him about this stuff. But he says, I've done executive protection. You rush people to hospitals when an EMT is not available. Otherwise, we get the asset moved to a safe area and wave in the medical experts and their gear.
That's what I expected to happen. And I think once they got him to the SUV, they're in a safe enough zone where the EMTs could have gone to work, and they know by then it's not a mass shooting event. So
Right.
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, unless they're trying to hide something nefarious. The other option, which we have been discussing, and there's another X space that's coming up pretty soon, where there's a few people who suspect that Charlie may have been cryogenically frozen and not buried or cremated.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, well, it actually has a bit of merit, because there's a facility right in Arizona, right near Scottsdale, called Alcor, who do the cryogenic freezing.
Really?
And yeah, and that where they flew Charlie back, they actually have a hangar at that particular airport. Like, they're right there. And this Alcor facility has it's got some rough connections with some of the directors from TPUSA, John McGovern's and that kind of people. There's loose ties to it, but it might explain some things that, like why they wouldn't allow the EMTs in, because they have a certain procedure that they have to follow for a sudden death. If a person, say, just for example, say Brian Harpole knew and Dan Flood knew that this cryogenic freezing thing was going to happen if Charlie ever died. Right. There's a particular liquid that they have to inject into him pretty quickly. It's actually an anticoagulant, which makes it very difficult when you have a neck wound, because you don't want the blood to congeal. And there's a preserving agent that you need to inject into them pretty quickly to basically preserve their inner organs and stop it all from crystalline.
How does that work if there's no pulse?
Good question. I think that's they do have to do chest compressions. So they basically inject you with this stuff. If you're already dead, they'll inject you and then do chest compressions to get it cycled through your system. But then they have a thing called the DART team, which is a rapid response team, who, if you're lined up to get cryogenically frozen when you die, as soon as you die and you have a death certificate issued, this team come and pick up your body. And they're all ex-military, Navy SEALs, Green Berets that are in this part of this DART team. Mm-hmm. And they basically come and grab your body, and they put it in a mobile cryogenic unit until they can get you back to the main facility.
More body snatchers.
basically, yeah. So this Alcor cryogenic facility has a dart team who's made up of these ex-military guys, and they're right there at Scottsdale. So,
God,
and now because of all this sort of conspiracy about what happened to his body, was he cremated, where is he buried, it's kind of has a bit of merit. So
yeah,
there's been a few people
worth
on X
looking
who
into
are.
anyway.
It is. It's another one of these things that may lead nowhere, or we may end up finding out what happened to his body. So,
God.
there's
And look, the
so
way
many
they've
different
been so
angles.
weird, all the strange things that have gone on from day one, it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing
No, and
surprises me anymore.
he's in that elite class too. That
Yeah.
Peter Thiel actually is lined up to go to this facility when he dies. So,
God.
he's one of. They have 1,500 people signed up to go to this facility when they die, and Peter Thiel is one of them. So,
That's just weird.
yeah. So I don't know. We're going to discuss it in the next few days, I think. So.
Yeah. That is that is just that's so wild.
Yeah.
And I could see something like that, being the plan, even if he didn't know ahead of time that was the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then there's the whole thing with him and Erica changed their end of life documents a few weeks earlier.
Supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could have been introduced into those end of life documents at that point as well.
I think they had an appointment on the 15th, right?
That's it. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. That's crazy. Texas was just asking if Victor Marks had any kind of ties to that place in Scottsdale. That would be.
Yeah, good question. Victor Marks is connected to everybody else.
Yeah.
Victor Marks is actually one of my major research points that I've been focused on. Mainly because of his wife's friendship with Erica, Eileen Marks.
Yeah.
They're very good friends. She was the one who Erica ran into her arms when they landed at Scottsdale. Mm-hmm. She was the first one that ran into Eileen's arms. And Victor's connected to absolutely everybody that was the first timers that had never been to a campus stop before. Yeah. Frank Butch Hibbs, Andrew Ferrasi.
All connected to him.
They're all really closely connected to Victor. And mainly through his All Things Possible ministries and his religious talks that he does on tours. Like he's been on tour with Frank Turek, Rob McCoy, and also Philip Goldsberry Sr., who is Philip Goldsberry Jr. was the guy who mic'd up Charlie.
Yeah,
his dad is also a pastor as well. And they all use the same security team that Victor Marks uses, which is Iron Goat Security, which is run by a guy named Sam Jones, who I've just discovered is another BYU Mormon.
No doubt.
So it just keeps coming back around there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. There is so many. It's a very complex web that I think we've identified well over 200 people now that were either in very close proximity to Charlie when he died, behind the tent, in the front rows, some of the key eyewitnesses who seem to be making up stories, and then a lot of the key players on the outside, like your Victor Marks and Butch Hibbs and a lot of people like that. So we've identified a whole stack, and then from doing that, we're looking into their histories and who they're connected with. And there's a lot of BYU Mormons that seem to keep popping up.
That BYU, seems to be a reoccurring.
It does. And Utah National Guard is another pattern that seems to be forming. There's quite a few of them. The guy who runs UVU is Val Peterson. He's the one who controls the money for UVU. He's got a budget of $50 million a year.
God.
And he's in. He does all the police force. So they've had a big lack of police officers at UVU, and
Obviously.
he's the one who controls the budget for that. He's the one who controlled the budget for the painting job. And he used to be the Brigadier General of the National Guard. And one of the guys who arrested George Zinn is a National Guard guy. He's not even a police officer. He's National Guard. There's a couple of National Guard guys that I've identified in the crowd who seem to be controlling the scene afterwards and trying to funnel people into the tunnel. So there's a National Guard pattern that seems to be forming as well.
Whether it's National Guard or otherwise, it seems like there's so many high-ranking military of some sort, that are involved in this, or at least adjacent to.
Yep, lots and lots of ex-military, and the sheriff's department. A couple of people in the front rows. One guy there named Jason Behunin, who's in the VIP area on Charlie's right. He's right in the front rows. He has interactions with Brian Harpole. He's sort of talking under his hand, like he's covering his mouth, saying something to Brian Harpole. That guy is an ex-copper, ex-deputy sheriff under Mike Smith. And he's also a corrections officer at the same jail where they're holding Tyler now. So, but yeah, it was. In the end. Yeah, the deputy sheriff under Smith was a very interesting thing because he's in the VIP area, but he doesn't have a VIP blue wristband on. And they'd already removed people from the area that shouldn't be there, but they left Jason in the front row.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so he definitely played a role on the day. Whether he had prior knowledge of what was going to happen, I don't know.
God. They're just all.
So yeah,
it's crazy.
This is the crazy crap we've been looking at for the last 336 days.
I'm trying to think what else. I thought of something earlier I was going to ask you about, and then I think I've lost it since.
Sorry, I waffled on.
No, that's good. That's exactly what. Here, let's see. I think I got another super chat too. Let's see what we got here. Beck B again. Oh, be careful with the Skylar guy, cause Candace said he is one of the bad actors with the script. Apparently, pretty please just be careful.
Well, that was how I accused him to start with. I've basically been a crisis actor. Same with Blake Haskett. I was accused of being a crisis actor. And then they both reached out to me going, why the fuck are you talking shit about me?
And what better way to decide than have a public conversation, right?
Yeah. And then I've been talking to Skylar for quite a few months now and just on in DMs on X. And then, Blake Haskett reached out to me today with the same problem. So I did it. So I did agree to actually delete a couple of the posts that I had made about Blake Haskett because I don't have evidence that he's a crisis actor, and I kind of did infer that. So I agreed to delete those, and he was quite appreciative of that I'd delete those. So,
well,
so yeah, I think an interview would be interesting with him.
Yeah, it'd be worth talking to him for sure, and me and you can chat ahead of time and figure out what exactly we want to ask and all that.
If you cross your fingers really hard, I may even be able to get Daniel Merrill, the guy who did the paving job.
That would be great. I've
spoken to Daniel. He sent me some pictures that that I put out on X.
Yeah, for y'all that don't know, that's the contractor that got called on a Sunday with a paver emergency.
That's him.
Yeah.
Hardscapes, Utah.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, and that's the other thing that drives everybody crazy, of course, is them covering up that. You know, they always use they got what they needed, and it was released, and they did what they do, whatever. But all right, so can you shed a little light on that? I know at first there was talk that this was something that was already on the calendar or already scheduled to be done.
Yeah,
But then it
that was
seems
a
like
lie.
Barron covered it right and that it wasn't. Do you know much about that?
Yeah, there was never any pre-planning to change that that courtyard. The decision was made after the incident. Val Peterson and an FBI agent that I'm still trying to find his name were basically controlling the scene as it happened. I've got reports now from different people that the guys who were dealing with the sod, who dug up the soil and rolled up the grass, were complaining about getting fresh blood on their arms when they were dealing with the rolls of sod. And there's I found some text messages today that they're talking about an 8-inch size puddle of blood that they're trying to deal with.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, talking about whether they can just hose it off or. So yeah, and obviously they didn't hose it off. They ended up digging up 10 inches of soil and laying a bunch of pavers on Sunday. So, no, it's 100% that was to cover up the crime scene, so no one can go back and recreate it again or get any soil samples. Where the actual rolls of sod ended up is still a mystery.
That's what I was going to ask, is if you'd looked into that and if you had been able to come up with anything on that.
I've been hunting rolls of sod, and I can't find them. Daniel Merrill told me that they were already taken away. Sorry, they were taken away, but he had nothing to do with taking them away. There was a question whether parts of it was used in a different part of the campus. They had some patchy grass that they needed to fix up. But I think the decision in the end was that it got dumped. And I don't know where. I've never been able to track down where they ended up. So.
Yeah, and being it's sod, I mean, it's basically just grass and a little dirt. I mean, it could have been dumped anywhere, and then it's not. By now, it's probably not. I don't know. You could probably pick some biological material out of there, but if it was just dumped somewhere, maybe. But I mean, it could be at the bottom of a landfill. There's no telling.
Yeah, exactly. They could have just burnt it or could have done anything with it. So.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be. Was that supposed to be the state that did that part of it?
Yes. It was the. Wasn't UVU who actually dug it up. It was a state contractor who was organised to bring in his little excavator and dig it out. And then they contacted Daniel Merrill to, well, what are we going to do with it? We need to fucking pave it or concrete it or something.
We got a fucking paving emergency.
Yeah. And then I've even got photos of him. He was working into the night to get that done.
Right.
They didn't work right through the night, but it was getting dark before they'd wrapped it up on the Sunday. So, and then they had it all finished by Monday. So,
I just happened to catch this comment. Muppet said that he does actually have a YouTube channel, but he just hasn't really done anything with it. So, but I'll let you address that.
Yeah, it's the real Muppet Masher on YouTube. I think I had a 2-hour phone call with Phil Lyman that was recorded, and I chopped that up into four pieces and posted that on my YouTube. I think that's pretty much all that's on there. So.
I mean, when you're on X, I get it. When you're on X and you're doing all that digging on X and in and out of spaces on X, it's hard to really do both, you know?
Yeah.
You can kind of cover some stuff on X if you've got a YouTube channel, but, you know, doing the type of digging that you're doing, I understand it'd be hard to do that. So,
yeah.
But hey,
sometimes we've been going 36 hours straight, just down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. And hey, we can start. I'm good with having him on once a month or something, or you know, whatever. Just jump in and give us updates too. If everybody would like to see something like that, we can definitely do something like that. But
well, there is a bit of a team of us too that have been working in conjunction with each other to find out all what we have found out so far. It's not just me. There's a team of us that have been doing it. So, I don't want to take credit for other people's work either. So
right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a lot of people have been helping out.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, I'd be tickled to death to talk to some of those other some of those others too. You know, we might can if you can work it out. You know, we can have a little panel.
I could definitely get a whole panel of people on your show. Yeah. That wouldn't be difficult at all. So. So we've got a few things coming up with this John Cullen drone space, and then the cryogenic thing, and some interviews with some eyewitnesses, and so I've got a heap on the go at the moment. And I'm only one guy trying to, with an internet connection in the middle of Australia.
That's right. Well, it's amazing what you can do now. I mean, look at John Bray. According to that MS Now hit piece, you know, he's a farmer that's just you know, playing around with AI and stuff. So one thing I noticed, I don't know if you watched that thing or not, or watched all of it. One thing I noticed, the expert she talked to, you know, she said, look, I'm not trying to debunk any of this except for John, you know. But yeah, the experts, none of them argued with any of his analysis or any of his conclusions. The one was like, yeah, in this day and age, that's the problem. You know, anybody can, with an internet connection, can take and, you know, and AI, they can work all this stuff out and come up with, and even said that they a lot of times use actual scientific methods and this, that, and the other, and can come up with convincing arguments and analysis. So basically, he was saying the problem is the average person can get on there and do these things. He never addressed the actual substance of what John, you know, has been researching. So
yeah, exactly. And I would never call myself an expert. I have a problem with experts.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be.
That's me.
Exactly. Yeah, expert at lying.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know it's like what 1 o'clock there, something like that.
Yeah, it's about 1 a.m. Yep.
About 1 a.m. I could keep doing this forever. Trust me, these little rabbit trails never stop. But I got to go do some sweating at my regular job, and I know it's
now we've gone for a couple of hours already.
Yeah, I know quick. It's wee hours of the morning for you. So.
Yeah, well, mate, I really appreciate you having me on. And
like I said, we can start doing this once a month or something, or just whatever. Anytime you got something, you know, if you want to jump on and talk about it, you know, you're more than welcome. And we'll stay in touch on all that other stuff too. On doing a panel, and then also that interview with what's their names? Those two,
Skylar Baird and Blake Haskett.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll stay in touch on that. We'll work something out. That'd be real good. And I know everybody in the chat seems to be pretty excited about the possibility of that. So, yeah, definitely. So yeah, we'll call it here.
Yep.
But
We're
definitely have
more
to
than
do it
happy to
again
do this
soon.
again with you one day. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Y'all, any of y'all that are on X, if you're not already, go look him up, Muppet Masher. He's he's not hard to find on there, but go give him a follow. And hey, go to his YouTube channel and give him a follow. Maybe if he gets enough follows on there, maybe he'll start doing more on the YouTube channel too. So
I do plan on uploading a lot of videos on there. I'm actually working on a little mini documentary with all the identifications that we've made.
yeah,
Um, so once
that'd be
I
cool.
yeah, I'm just not a very good editor. If
I mean,
people look at my video,
you don't have to do all live streams. I mean, you can do all pre-records. But
true.
yeah, I mean, you can pop stuff on there every so often, and guarantee you people will definitely watch. There's a lot of interest, and so. But I
Yeah,
appreciate all the digging, and I know everybody that's listening appreciates all the digging. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Thanks.
we'll definitely be in touch. I guess you go get you some rest, and I'm fixing to go sweat for a while.
Yep. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye. Cheers,
Bye
bye.
bye. Well, how was that, guys? Y'all enjoy that? I tell you what, he is really a good guy, and I enjoyed that. I could talk to him for hours. There's so many little rabbit trails to go down. So one thing always leads to another with this topic. So um, but guys, I appreciate the super chats, and I appreciate obviously everybody showing up, representing. Anybody that hears my voice right now, I just lost my camera. Good Lordy, I knew it was coming. Y'all don't run off just too fast. I want to tell you bye and actually be able to look at you. Let me fix my camera. All right, I'm back. All right, guys. Yeah, if you can, anybody that hears my voice right now, if you are not subscribed, please do. We got lots of cool things coming up. We got um, oh Lord, Clint Russell. We'll have Clint Russell on here before long. We got on Escobar, Rio Gates, and all kinds of other good ones. Y'all just heard us talk about the panel that we're gonna do here before long, and possibly the interview with those two guys that were there at UVU. So yeah, lots of good things coming up. Y'all make sure that yeah, we did fix the fire alarm, guys. I told you. um, but yeah, y'all definitely, anybody that's not subscribed, please do that. Please like the video. That'll help YouTube know to push it out. And yeah, anybody that can and would, I'd appreciate it if you drop back into the comments later and leave a comment. They say 6 words or more, but anything is good with me. So I really appreciate the interaction. So anyway, gonna go. Yes, Rio is fire. She's good. She's got a lot of good stuff she's working on. So yeah, definitely. How long have I been doing this? Let's see. Been doing it, I don't know, 6 months or so. I haven't been doing it just super long. We're really new, but we're I've got Mr. Brett Booth in the background trying to help out with some of the networking. You know, we're trying to talk to as many people in the background as we can, so we can so we can definitely bring lots of good guests and get lots of good info. So anyway, guys, I appreciate everything. Hopefully everybody will subscribe. Anybody that hears this in the future, please subscribe, notification bell. So anyway, I'm going to go sweat. I appreciate y'all guys very much. And we'll be here again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Central Time. And look forward to seeing each and every one of you back here real soon. Thanks.
When the facts get twisted and the lies